That is todo. The Committee of the Whole, to be led by the Committee on Trade, Investment and Industry, is now called to order. The Chair would like first to acknowledge the members of the City Council. Ladies first, Councilor Lilibeth Nuño, Councilor Jihan Eding, and then we go to Councilor VP Elago. We have Councilor Tungku Hanapi, Councilor Litlit Macrohon, Councilor Bong Atilano. And we also have our friends from the national government. We have Sir Guyver. Good morning, Sir Guyver Amaron, from representing the DTI. And then soon to join with us also, I think via Zoom, Dr. Ariola from the City Vet. We'll just wait for him, but we can already begin. So the purpose for today's public hearing is based from the SP resolution adopted by the City Council, introduced by Councilor VP Elago during the maiden session, for DTI and DA to check on the abrupt increase of prices in meat, in the chicken, include to fish, pork, beef. So, and we take cognizance and we recognize that indeed, in fact, the chairman, yours truly, also went around after the session to really check the prices in the market, and indeed, alto kat el presyo. One market being exceeding pa el cosa el ya report el DTI, no? Ya alcanza na, to chemical ki 260 ya el chicken. So it is very alarming, and no less than our member consumers are the ones really affected. So it is incumbent upon the committee and the members of the City Council to take action regarding this concern. So with that, before we begin, we'd like to recognize Councilor VP, the proponent of the resolution, to say some words also. Councilor VP, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'd like to acknowledge, of course, the attendance of the Department of Trade and Industry and the Department of Agriculture. Are we represented here?
They will. I think they will follow. Okay, do we have already? Okay, with
Of
us
the
also,
City Agriculturist Office also.
Yeah, but we have
Yeah.
also now, the Chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Mario Ariola, the ever-active City Vet Officer. Good morning, sir. Daghang salamat for attending at a very short notice, sir.
May buntag. Good morning.
Yes, Councilor VP.
Yes, this hearing is an aftermath of that resolution I passed. I passed that resolution wherein we want to query from the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Trade and Industry what is happening in Zamboanga City in as far as this abnormal increase in meat prices is concerned. Many residents of Zamboanga have been complaining about the drastic increase in the prices of meat, chicken, beef, and pork. When chicken used to be sold at 130 per kilo just a couple of weeks ago, today when you go to the market, chicken is sold at 220 to 230 pesos per kilo. Almost 100% increase in the previous price. Pork is now being sold at 250 pesos at an average. Before, it used to be sold at 190, even at KCC Mall. Then we have beef, which is now 350 to 360 pesos. So, Your Honor, amo se el pregunta del mga vivientes sa ciudad de Zamboanga, ¿por qué ansina el precio del di aton mga karne? There are various reasons that have surfaced, you know. Among the most identified reason is the shortage of supply. So what we want to know is what caused this shortage of supply? What is DTI's opinion on this? Is it something that we just have to accept since it is the law of supply and demand? Are the increase in prices allowed by law? Then we also want to ask the Department of Agriculture what they are doing to enhance the growth of our livestock and poultry industry in Zamboanga City. Again, na DTI, tapregunta kita, kosa sila taase in as far as safeguarding consumer rights is concerned. Because when prices are too high, then that is supposed to be under the Consumer Act na unfair ya para kunel mga diaton residentes. Como un Zamboangueño, Your Honor, tasinti umalo kasi sabi yo, donde alrededor del ciudad, tiene kita mga takwida, puerco, especialmente puerco pati manok. El vaca, medyo menos kita kaya puwera kasi normal kita. Tasaka, mucho mga residente ta reklama. They complain about the stench of this mga poultry pati del diaton mga hog raising industry na mga barangay. Na el diaton camino, el gobierno taase esfuerzo para dale farm to market roads y este mga farm to market roads amo sila tausa para karya con el diila mga livestock pati dila mga poultry products. Pero aura kaya tiene un poco problema daw, especialmente na Manila, na Luzon, el diaton manok daw estaba aquí na ciudad de Zamboanga, que tausa con el camino del ciudad de Zamboanga, que ta sacrificia el mga residente alrededor kanila, ahora daw, alaya daw, ta imbya na otro lugar. Kay mas caro el pago para con este mga carne di ila. So it is really unfair on the part of the people of Zamboanga City that this is happening to us. They use our resources, they use the facilities that we have here in the city, and yet, if it's true, then it is unacceptable that these meat products made in Zamboanga City are now being brought outside simply because they are paid higher prices for these items. So, Your Honor, amo lang kayo rason, and I hope at the end of this hearing, this query, these questions that I ask now, in as far as what we are doing, especially the agencies concerned, will be answered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor VP. So, if it's okay, before we allow other members to speak, we first listen to the status and situation, the update report from the Department of Trade and Industry. I have here a copy with me, a memorandum of DTI from the Provincial Director, Ma'am Grace Aduca, addressed to the Regional Director, Sir Seferino J. Rubio, subject being special price and supply monitoring of dressed chicken, pork, and beef in Zamboanga City. So we request Sir Guyver to update us, sir, on the latest situation on the prices in the market. Sir, for record purposes, kindly identify yourself again, your full name po. Thank you.
First of all, I want to greet all the members of this August Valley. A pleasant morning. Morning, sirs.
Morning, sir. Morning.
I am Guyver Amazon of DTI Zamboanga City Office. Correct the statement by Councilor Elago is correct. The main reason for the increase in prices of chicken and meat products is because of the shortage of supply. So, unlike other basic necessities and prime commodities, which has suggested retail prices, agricultural products, their prices relies on the supply and demand. So, as to the question why these agricultural products have no suggested retail prices or price ceiling, I think the proper agency to answer this is DA, because they are the agency mandated to set price ceiling on agricultural products. Nevertheless, what we did in DTI, the other day, we convened as the vice chair of the Local Price Coordinating Council, we convened the Local Price Coordinating Council. The meeting was attended by the private growers, our partners from the poultry industry, and also attended by a member of this August body, Councilor Elking Umaga. During the meeting, we discussed various short-term and long-term solutions to this problem. So, I will relate to you, sir, the main concern of the private growers here. They are clamoring for the establishment of a livestock zone. Because, according to some of the growers, this is they are hesitant to invest, to increase their production farms, owing to complaints from homeowners. As to supply of chicken, we interviewed one distributor. I will not mention the name. According to them, their distribution of chicken products is centralized. So, they have no control over the number of chickens allocated for Zamboanga City.
What did, can you kindly repeat the phrase? Their distribution was what?
Centralized, sir.
Centralized.
There's the supply distribution of chicken is centralized. So, they have no control for the allocation, for the number of chickens allocated for Zamboanga City. So, with only 50% of the total demand being supplied by local farmers, this producer relies from supply coming from other provinces. However, the supply has been diverted to Luzon and NCR owing to increased demand there.
So, higher prices.
Yes. So that's
the chair would like to, since Sir Guyver, you mentioned that you were part of the LPCC that met, when was this? Yesterday?
27, sir.
Wednesday, yeah. So you mentioned one recommendation is the establishment of a livestock zone.
Yes, sir.
What are the other recommendations?
DA, sir, they discuss stabilization programs. Like, they are planning to subsidize feeds. To subsidize feeds to local farmers. That way, the prices could go down. And they're also planning to set a price ceiling.
Yun. Yeah, but sir, the suggestion of a price ceiling or the approval or implementation of a price ceiling, correct me if I'm wrong, sir, no, would come from the Office of the President by executive order. No, DA will recommend, but
Yes,
at the
sir.
end of the day, the one who will approve or implement that, or sorry, approve the implementation is the Office of the President by executive order. Am I correct?
I am not sure, sir, as to the
Yeah.
process of DA.
Because here with me, I have a copy here when the price of rice increased drastically way back in what date was this? August 2018, around that time, no? So the LPCC met and approved a resolution recommending to President Rodrigo Roa Duterte the imposition of mandated price ceiling on prices of rice in Zamboanga City. So, as this is the basis, siguro, tamira kita, uno the recommendation que debe tamen ase el LPCC is similar to this, but of course, related to meat products.
Yes, sir.
And in fact, I have here, for the information of the body, a news article from Business Mirror, no? From Business Mirror, The article title is DA-DTI pin hopes on price freeze order on pork and chicken. Let me just read a few portions of the article. No, the Department of Agriculture is hoping that President Duterte will issue within the week an executive order imposing a price ceiling on pork and chicken to temper rising prices of these commodities. So this article is dated January 26, 2021. So based from the previous recommendation by way of resolution of the LPCC last 2018 and this article, so I would assume that it's the President who will issue the executive order. So siguro this council later on the dispository portion of the committee meeting, we can recommend, no? We cannot no, but we will recommend a similar price freeze because based on the DTI report, sir, I have here with me from Ma'am Grace, prices will still increase starting February 1. Can you confirm that, sir, in this report? It says here, let me read. There will be an increase in the price of beef effective February 1 as per information sent by suppliers to supermarket retailers. So I assume beef subigayot, but the rest siguro will follow also. No, they will they will grab the opportunity to also jack up their prices. Even fish and vegetables subitaments din, no? Yeah, I think it was mentioned also here in the report, no?
Yes.
Issues and concerns. Number 3. Retailers of fish and vegetables are also reported to be raising their prices. This prompted some consumers to inquire with DTI as to whether we are also experiencing a shortage in the supply of fish and vegetables in the city. Some consumers suspect that fish and vegetable sellers are also taking advantage of the current situation to increase their earnings. So, pasigis la el momentum, maskin get basis para sa subidi la presyo. So, this might cause inflation, local inflation, and the local consumers will really suffer with this predicament. So, maybe now we can hear, is it okay with the permission of the members? We hear now from Dr. Mario Ariola from the Office of City Vet. Okay, sige, just make it brief, Councilor Vip.
No, because if I'm not, we invited the Department of Agriculture
We did.
also. So
We did.
they are really important because there are things that we need to know from the department also. So is there a way for us to contact the Department of Agriculture?
I think the
So that we will be able
trying.
to, kahit Zoom na lang sila.
Yeah, officially, Councilor Vip, we communicated
Yeah,
to
I
them.
know.
And until now, no, we're still trying to comment. Do you have can the chair request to get their landline and try to contact via landline? Yeah, thank
Maskin
you.
man request yan lang kita, Mr. Chair, maskin man Zoom ya lang
Yeah,
sila.
we already
Yeah.
sent the Zoom link also, Councilor VP. So, Dr. Mario Ariola, you're now recognized to brief the August body on the situation.
Good morning. May I request that I can share some slides? One
Oh,
slide?
sure. Okay, Mer, kindly grant permission to share slides by Dr. Mario Ariola. Okay, Doc? Okay na? Sige, we will wait. Yan, grant niya permission? Okay. Doc Mario, permission was granted already to do a presentation.
Okay, thank you for waiting. Good morning,
Good morning,
member of the
Doc.
August body and invited guests. I would like also to share to you the report on our slaughter in Zamboanga City to make comparison from 2018 to 2020. This was presented during the meeting with DTI last week, earlier this week. This is a 3-year comparative slaughter data, total number of heads of slaughtered for the following species: cattle, carabao, goat, hog, and chicken. the issue at hand is on hogs and chicken, and it can be noted in the table that
Because of the pandemic.
erratic increase and decrease for the 3 years. Now, however, if you get the average on the 2 years, last year's slaughter is way below the average of 18 and 19. For the monthly, the same. Still a decrease in slaughter if you compare from 2019 and 2020 on a monthly basis. This is also our daily slaughter of animals in last December 2019. We would like to reckon on December. It can be noted that hogs 2019 on December we have 218, and for chicken 49. However, on December last year, we only slaughter 175 hogs, average, and 22,000 for chicken. So there's really a decrease in the kill or the slaughter of these animals. And this is the average January 2020. We have slaughtered 112, as appearing here, 112 hogs only in January 2020. And the same in January 2021, there's a decrease of 10 heads per day. If you would allow me, Chair,
Yes, please proceed.
the report of why there's a decrease in slaughter of chicken, it can be recalled that last December there were 2 typhoons that hit Mindanao and also affected the production and the breeding farm in central Mindanao. That goes to show na the volume of eggs from the breeders to produce chicks also reduced. That's the reason
Doc?
why that during this period,
Yeah.
there's this slight decrease of the volume of chicken slaughtered or produced because of that reason.
Doc, I have a question, Doc.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that December, some areas in central Mindanao experienced typhoons, and as a result, the decreased production of eggs or chicken, correct? So there is a direct correlation between typhoons and the production of eggs or chickens?
Yeah, the central Mindanao area, Honorable Chair, is our breeders, no, for chicken, and eggs that to be hatched for chicks have been reduced. So harvest for January are small because of that reason. Birds are still small, so they would surmise na by January 30, end of January, or within this week, or middle of February, harvest will come, no? But again, there it will be in reduced number because the production of the breeder farm for hatching eggs was affected. And for hogs, definitely our traditional suppliers for Zamboanga City and in the region, Zamboanga del Sur and Zamboanga del Norte, they responded to the call of the Department of Agriculture to help Metro Manila to supply them live hogs. At present, Metro Manila buyers or traders buy the live hogs at 250 pesos kilo live weight. In the region, Zamboanga Peninsula, our live weight for hog ranges from 140 to 160 only. So, syempre, yung mga hog racers, they find it a bonanza for them to bring their hogs to Manila at 250 pesos live weight. For beef, definitely this is a luxurious item, and Zamboanga City is not a cattle producing area. It is also affected by the supply of live animals. That's all.
Thank you, Doc Mario. Thank you, Doc Mario.
Chairman.
I think siguro after consultation and discussion here, I think the committee will come up with a short-term, mid-term, and long-term recommendations.
Yes, Your
Councilor
Honor.
VP, kindly take the podium. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to go back to the statement of Dr. Ariola regarding that part wherein it says the DA was the one who kind of encouraged the local producers to send their meat to Manila.
Honorable Chairman, may I?
Can you just qualify those statements, sir?
Yeah, before we proceed, the chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Ma'am Sanchez, Ma'am Menchi, joining us via Zoom. Please proceed, Councilor Vip. Ma'am, baka tuman share ki Ma'am El Comida. Go ahead, Councilor Vip.
Am I recognized, Chairman?
Yes, Doc Mario, you're now recognized.
Okay, the honorable Secretary of the Department of Agriculture have appeal to hog producing areas, not only in Zamboanga Peninsula, but in the entire Visayas and Mindanao area. General Santos now is the big supplier for Manila because of the farm located in General Santos. So, in our region, Zamboanga Sibugay and Zamboanga del Sur and Zamboanga del Norte have only responded to the invitation of our good secretary.
How about Zamboanga City, Doctor? How about Zamboanga City?
Actually, Your Honor, Zamboanga City is not really a producer of hogs. Our kill in this slaughterhouse are 70% coming from outside Zamboanga City, and only 30 to 40% is our own animal.
Okay. How about
we have backyard racer, and medium scale commercial racers.
how about poultry, Dr. Ariola?
Okay, for poultry nga, no, if we only kill for our own requirement, we have found out that the production of the three integrators is sufficient, even more than sufficient, 115%. However, as mentioned by the representative of the DTI, integrators are, yung operation kasi nila, their operation is nationwide. Pag one branch ng integrator is short, they go all around the Philippines and get supplies from those who have high or bigger inventories.
So, Dr. Ariola, which agency in the city, whether local or national, is supposed to be tasked with that responsibility in checking whether or not the supplies of our poultry and agricultural products are sufficient for the city? Because if you say that this was, they are an integrated group of, may say, companies, dulugi man kita, kay aki man sila ase grande ko na dila mga animal, tausa sila mga pasilidad del syudad, tausa sila el agua del syudad, que chenebes ta kita ration, tan share kita, tausa sila con el kuryente, que chenebes necesita compartir, dividir entre con el mga residente. So, keryo sabi aura, si quien bagayot el supposed to be taman monitor kung kadebe sabe kay aligar el tiempo como aura Tiene mga tapidi de Manila, tapidi con el Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga del Norte, tiene ves, maskin hindi pidi, pero kay sabe, mas caro el presyo alya, mas alto, so tiene, tatto mabentaha, alya lang sila imbya. To the sacrifice of the people of Zamboanga City. So my question, I do not know who's going to answer this, whether it's the city agriculture, the city veterinary, si quién ba gayot el task para supervisa, para man-monitor, también para checkya con el entrada salida del diaton mga karne aquí na ciudad de Zamboanga.
Yeah, before the question raised by Councilor VP would be answered, the Chair would like to recognize the presence of Councilor Jerky Valesco and the Assistant Regional Director of the Department of Agriculture, Sir Ferdinand Gamorot. Welcome, sir, to the public hearing, and thank you for attending. So the question being raised by Councilor VP is, who is tasked or which agency has the mandate or responsibility to ensure the sufficiency of supply of meat and poultry products in the city of Zamboanga? Correct, Councilor? Yes. Yes. Anyone from our visitors would like to answer? Siguro we ask, is Ma'am Menchi raising her hand? No. Okay, sorry. Now, siguro at this point in time, VIP, maybe we ask the Department of Agriculture. Yeah, hindi nga. The ARD is here, the Assistant Regional Director of the DA. Sir Ferdinand, good morning, sir. Can you hear us?
Good morning. Buenos días, buenos tardes.
Ay, buenos días, Sir Ferdinand.
Sangguniang
Buenas. Sir, tiene... Yes, sir. Tiene pregunta el dato na miembro del consejo, si Consejal VP, ¿quién el agencia encargado para asegurar suficiente el supply del meat and poultry kina Zamboanga City, sir? Medyo bad el internet connection ata eh. Sir Ferdinand? May sila man avail free wifi.
Okay, sir. Yeah, pwede sa quality question, can responsible if city office of the city vet and
Office City Vet.
office of the city Department of Agriculture provides both technical and even financial assistance. So, paano sir? Partnership, sir. Complementation and partnership.
So it's a partnership between the
Thank
city
you.
vet, the DA. Well, Bip, that's the reason why I think assess sila food security plan. I think the abrupt increase of prices was due to, correct me, I think DTI can confirm this and verify this, no? As far as the pork is concerned, akal swine flu, yache ni na Manila, por eso yakaba nila supply la, so they scrambled looking for other suppliers, which is Zamboanga City is one of them. Yeah, well, it's a free market. Sige, okay.
Siya na lang yung owner DA.
Sige, before Councilor VP, Councilor Jihan, she has a question for the Department of Agriculture.
Yes, good morning, Director Ferdy. Ya sabemos que as early as last Monday, through AMAT, ya conduce LDA price monitoring ng mga flea markets. Kaya lang kita sabi, Director, si COSA ya sale resulta del dos ustedes price monitoring. Y segundo puntos namin, Director, COSA mga interventions or assistance pwede dahil LDA para pwede ayuda na production cost del diaton mga livestock growers and poultry growers. Kasi hasta uno kasi ito entende tamen porque ya subi el presyo is ya subi tamen el cost of production. Cost intervention kita pwede dale ayuda, asistensya con el diaton mga farmers, Director.
Jihan, kaya pregunta to no? Very timely and appropriate. Number one, Chene kita division na DA, Agribusiness and Marketing Assistance Division, kita man monitor daton prices, especially the agricultural and fishery products. Kaya sabi gani kita ma'am, no, beginning December, even date, no, drug instance, per monitoring report, 180 pesos per kilo lang el daton pork till December, but lately it's 240 na mga public markets, akin na Santa Cruz, akin na downtown na Pueblo, pero na mga private markets, Poco increased 250 pesos December, nasubit naman 180, 190. So Chene got spike. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, problema kita na supply. Binbaho kat agad to supply. Talking about pork, accordingly, no, we only produce, a city of Zamboanga is only producing 20 to maximum of 30% of the requirements, meaning we are still sourcing or buying our pork from neighboring provinces, particularly Zamboanga Sibugay. I think the bulk comes from Zamboanga Sibugay. El problema si Ara kay mismo el mga meat vendors del Sibugay, tapi ko naman compete el precio kita compra el Zamboanga City. So you notice kami, in fact I was in April yesterday, abahaya kaming gat supply mismo na Sibugay and even Zamboanga del Sur, because like na del Sur, an average of more than 2,000 heads tabindi sila sa Metro Manila because then baho gat supply na Metro Manila because of the ASF epekto del ASF kay po kaya lang gat ken produce, especially mga commercial farm del ASF kay iapekta gat ng mga regions, major producing regions of Luzon. So amo el reason. Now, we already provided some inputs the other day when we had our local price coordinating council meeting, which was chaired then by our director that mga interventions kita kami ase immediately. Kaya kita short term and long term, no? El short term is that pwede kita man link kuno gatong prospective hog producers o hog raisers na credit facilities, ma'am. Kasi kaya kita LDA through the Agricultural and Credit Policy Council or ACPC, kaya sa mga credit facilities. One of which is KAYA, KAYA, Capital Access for Young Agripreneurs. Now, qualified na diya mga 18 to 30 years old, graduates in agriculture or interesado to engage in agri-fishery products, pwede sila kung naman avail, no? No collateral and no interest. Tapiguro taming kami ara providing mga quality breeders, no? But that's something that we have to arrange with the other regions para kita diaton sariling mga breeders, no, to be extended na diaton interested hog producers naman as well. Amo say ma'am, some of the intervention, of course, we're strengthening our monitoring. Sabi man kita ma'am, we found out that Chinigat market ma'am, no, sinuay kentan monitor, tan jack up sila price, pero si sabi sila chine regular monitoring, kanya sila tapikura sila bende tupaw o tama na presyo. So those are some intervention or assistance that we can provide. Is that we are working closely with the city vet office to look into food security plan, because as we've been saying, we would like to see Arabako sa Baldeaton 30% lang. Do we plan to increase that to 40 or 50 in the next 2 years? So we would like to see coastal project ko sa support those city let me emphasize that, ma'am, we will complement LDA COSAL, pwede namin dali interventions that DA can possibly provide.
Yeah.
Di Chair na lang yung follow-up question,
Sige. The chair
Director.
also has a question. Yeah,
Si-
Councilor Jihan,
Yes,
your
one final question. Director, you made a good point kay sometimes tiyan na yung mga unscrupulous traders kay baka tasa lang subi kay perkaw sa mira alto ang demand ang presyo. Posible ga kita, Director, man recommend imposition of price freeze na meat and poultry product?
Pwede ma'am, but to come up with price freeze or suggested retail price, we need to consult with the stakeholders, ma'am.
consult with what?
That's,
With whom?
that's possible.
Consult Director Major Chapi.
Ma'am, maskin pa man cost to price ceiling, why gayot su... Yeah. Yeah.
Director, pwede yung kuntigo over the phone. Yeah, may kuntigo over the phone, mag-chat with Director.
Kasi based na dyan mo data lang, kukuha mo production ko.
Director Ferdinand, Councilor Jihan will try to get in touch with you via mobile phone so that we will have a clearer communication. Maybe Councilor G, you can also ask him because the good director, the good assistant director mentioned that the supply of pork in Zamboanga City would only reach 20 to 30% of the demand. So can we find out also the situation for chicken and beef? How much of the local supply would cover the total percentage of demand? So yeah, because na pork, our suppliers can only supply up to 30%. So we would like to know also the local supply of chicken growers here can produce how many, how many percent? Also with beef.
Honorable Chair,
Yes, who is
Mario.
Doc Mario? Yes, you recognize Doc Mario.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, our chicken raised by these integrators are sufficient.
Chicken is sufficient.
Broiler chicken is sufficient for Zamboanga City.
Okay. How about beef, sir?
However, itong mga integrator kasi, they supply also basilan sa Lutawi-Tawi. So if we get the line na what is raised in Zamboanga should be consumed by Zamboanga, that's the integrators turf already. For eggs, parang balance rin tayo because we produce lots of eggs, but we send also eggs to Basilan sa Lutawi-Tawi.
So
For hogs and cattle, we are not sufficient because we only produce 20 to 30% of it.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the information. So for hogs and cattle, we are only supplying 30% of the total demand, and for chicken, we are sufficient. Except that we also sell to Basilan and Sulu.
Basilan,
Basulte
Sulu, and
area.
Tawi-Tawi.
All right. Okay. We would like to get back if we have the Assistant Regional Director of DA. Can someone call? So there's a pending question. Yeah, Akel, what was your question? Sorry, no, that I remember. About the price freeze.
Okay,
DA.
hello, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Again, sorry, sir. There's a question, sir, a pending question. As to the price freeze, who you mentioned about there is a need to consult. What's this consultation, sir?
Ang sinasa, sir, before we will come up with our recommendation, kasi LDA, being responsible for monitoring and recommending as a price freeze, price ceiling, or SRP, suggested retail price, we need to consult with the stakeholders. We're talking about the Hog Raisers Association or Poultry Raisers Association of Zamboanga City, actual mga integrators, and even the government agencies. So we need to talk and discuss actual cost of production, profit, and then we will come up with those recommendations. Now the problem is, masking cost sa pagkita man recommend yung problema kat ara sa very tight, very low supply, especially the hogs or the pork. So that's something that we have to discuss talaga extensively, no, with the state.
Yes, sir. Doc Ferdinand, Doc Ferdinand. Sir Ferdinand, no, I just like to share information with you. I have here a news article dated January 26 by Business Mirror. The title of the article, sir, reads as follows. The Department of Agriculture, the Department of Trade and Industry pin hopes on price freeze order on pork and chicken. So the first paragraph, sir, reads, the Department of Agriculture is hoping that President Duterte will issue within the week an executive order imposing a price ceiling on pork and chicken to temper rising prices of these commodities. Another portion here, sir, reads regarding the prices. It says here, last week, the Department of Agriculture said it is pushing to implement a price ceiling effective for 60 days, 270 pesos on Kasim and 300 pesos on Liempo. So I think, sir, as far as the national government, central office siguro, they made the necessary consultations. That's why they already came up with recommendations to His Excellency President Duterte. So siguro...
Sir, can I say something, sir?
Sorry,
Can I say
sir?
something? Pwede mo comment, sir? Can I comment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please comment, sir. Yes, sir.
We checked with our counterpart, the central office. Accordingly, the price ceiling that was recommended only applies yata na central na NCR, na Metro Manila.
Country.
Kasi bawat city or local government, be it province, city, we need to come up with our own price ceiling. Kasi otro naman, number one, otro kat sir el cost of production tabi ng mga provinces and cities. So we need to come up with our own.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I read here somewhere say, I think national price freeze ata yung recommendation. Yeah, the chair also would like to recognize Councilor Kimmer Olaso joining us via Zoom. Good morning, Cons.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'm just trying to read, sir, a portion of the article where it read that they were trying to recommend for nationwide price freeze, no? Yeah. Yeah, I think tama, sir, no. I think I read it somewhere, di ko lang mahanap. But your comment, sir, is that it's only for Luzon, the recommendation made by DA. So siguro, sir, the council later via resolution, we will request also a similar action so that your office through the resolution through the LPCC can also start already do consultation with stakeholders for a recommendation of a possible price freeze based on the report of DTI that come February 1 there will be an increase in prices, no, especially in the beef. Sige, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions from other members? Councilor Kimmer, Councilor Tungko, Councilor Bong, do you have questions? Because I think we have some recommendations already. Yes, Councilor Tungko.
Can I ask the gentleman from the DTI?
Okay, Councilor Tungko, you're recognized. Sir Guyver, there's a question for your office by Councilor Hanapi. Councilor Hanapi, you may proceed with your question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Sir, do you have a list of the suppliers for our meat in Zamboanga City? A list from outside and a list from the inside suppliers. And that particular suppliers in our city, do you think, as what Dr. Ariola said, the supply for the chicken is sufficient? So, sufficient, why is it there is a over high pricing of the meat that we especially the chicken and the other meat are still in a high price. Sir?
To reiterate, sir, the main reason for an increase in prices of poultry products is due to shortage of supply, sir. That is the main reason. The demand in Zamboanga City, the supply is insufficient to meet the demands of Zamboanga City.
Amo man kali abla si Dr. Ariola, the supply for the chicken in Zamboanga City is sufficient. So, if sufficient, porque yan ipakita siyempre very high price in Zamboanga City. Nuay ka mo status man monitor in order to
Sir, based on our interviews with the stakeholders from the poultry industry and our special monitoring, sir, there is really shortage of supply on chicken products.
Tiyanigat kita shortage.
Tinigat kita shortage, sir. We
So-
visited their production farm, sir. We've interviewed their managers, and they confirmed that there is really shortage of supply.
Councilor Hanapi, may I interrupt, no? Mentioned earlier, sir, by Dr. Ariola, that chicken supply in the area is sufficient. And then now you're saying that upon investigation, there is really a shortage of supply of chicken. The
Chairman.
availability of the stocks, okay, goes to Basilan and Sulu.
Yes.
So, what action can the local government take, sir, to
Mr. Chair, I
supply
would
first
to-
our community before
Confused kita,
supplying
yung sa
outside?
LDTI, si Dr. Ariola, sufficient. On the back, kita, what is really the status of Zamboanga City in terms of supply in meat, in some, not chicken, because Dr. Ariola mentioned a while ago,
Mr. Chair.
sufficient. So, yeah, CTI is not, there is a shortage of the supply of chicken. So, that's why I'm asking the list. If you have the list, ityan na kita mga lista del mga supplier in Zamboanga City, LD ila supply ba? Hindi gat ta pwede. It's not really sufficient to supply the entire Zamboanga City. Or nisisita bagat kene from outside of Zamboanga City that we really have to us to come in order supply their chicken na Zamboanga City stable.
Mr. Chair, I would like to qualify.
Yes, Doc Mario, you're now recognized.
Under
Kindly
normal
clarify lang.
situation, we are sufficient. Este mga tiyempo ara chairman is it's because el supply ng mga breeder chicks de aton is not available
Supply not
kasi
available.
yaman decrease el volume del production del huevos. Kene como shortage ara
Okay.
del mga piso talye baki ka nato na Zamboanga. But if normal el mga piso ki ka naton,
Unusual shortage.
we have sufficient supply. El total production del mga integrator is enough for Zamboanga City.
Okay, okay. So what you're trying to say, Doc Mario, as far as production of chicken and eggs in Zamboanga City, we are sufficient. However,
For
upon
chicken
selling,
eggs,
or
balance ya. But for broiler, el mga piso kasi di aton or mga hatching eggs di aton came from Central Mindanao. And accordingly, El Dila Farmalia was affected
by typhoons.
by the typhoon and also by the siyempre el COVID and mga hente no pwede kami na. So, yaman reduce el number del mga huevos intended for hatching eggs to produce day-old chicks. Amokel el yaman reduce ara.
So you're
So
trying
el mga grower di ato na kinasambuanga, invest full capacity sila,
yeah.
probably minimum capacity sila.
So what you're trying to say, Doc Mario, no, and to be clarified lang, the shortage of the chicken is just unusual due because of the pandemic and aquel Bagyo del December.
Till
But the
December,
capacity to
yes.
produce, assuming full production, can be sufficient for Zamboanga City.
Yes, to normal.
Okay. So in short,
Thank you.
parang short
Mr. Chair, may I
interruption.
comment, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Councilor Kimmer, you're now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for recognizing. Good morning, Sir Mario, as well to the members of City Council. Well, pertaining to this chicken, shortage of chicken sa Zamboanga City. One cause kasi, to tell you honestly, one of itong mga chicken, and ito todos taba na Zamboanga. Some of our chicken are coming even as far as Malaysia. But now, due to lockdown, pwede kita kunese. It's not only that essential that is coming from Malaysia, but including daton mga oils, noodles, whatever thing you see in market, basically 60% are coming from Malaysia. So, almost kita, we're trying to reconsidering it back na open back al port dato na Zamboanga in Malaysia for essential goods. Kasi kung hindi kita sa Abre, a lot of people will be suffering, not only from Zamboanga City, but including Basulta. We rely much on Malaysia, and that is the real truth. Not only now, but it has been years already. So, may I know from the good gentleman, Mr. Ariola, what's the best thing we can do, and what recommendation you can do to open us back the port na Malaysia, and as well that DTI, because this is very important as a neighboring country. They help us much pertaining to this matter, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Doc Mario, you're recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm just wondering, we don't have any report that chicken comes from Malaysia. No? I hope the Department of Agriculture will take note on this, because they might be illegally entering our country without proper import permit. Hopefully, we can get who is the name of the importer so that we can check this. And chicken coming from Malaysia will be very possible because of the avian influenza. No, so it's a matter also of national interest. Now we don't allow birds coming from south, our neighboring country, if they have avian influenza with them. A bird flu, Chairman. No? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may I comment again?
Yeah. Yes, any more?
May I comment, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Councilor Kim, you're recognized.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we are aware about the bird flu and everything. But the problem is, if I may ask, what is our government doing? Pertaining to chicken coming from Malaysia, it's coming mostly from the small boat, or what we call jumbo. So nobody ever catch this, nobody ever control it. That is why we're asking from your offices to heighten security. Kasi tamang lusot lang kinasampang ng mga sub-steres, manok, including pork, some kasalin ng Malaysia. Tamang lusot lang sa Kentucky via those small boats sa mga jungkungs, because these small boats, they are not properly checked. Sabi to, they are talama kita dola considered as smuggle na entra. That's why we have to check this. I'm asking the help of DA, our officer, that we really need to emphasize this matter, because we don't know what might come in to Zamboanga City. So, amalang lang, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Councilor VP?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I think we have heard a lot already
Yeah.
from our resource persons. Now, I would like to pass some recommendations.
Yeah,
Is
before that,
possible?
Councilor VP, the chair would also ask other members, Councilor Jerky, other members, Councilor Bong, if they would want to comment also before we go to discuss course of actions or recommendations. Councilor Jerky, you have
Yeah,
something to say?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Yes, Councilor Litlit is joining us also. Councilor Lit, before we go to the recommendations by the committee, you have something to say?
Okay. Yung ba?
Yes, you're recognized, Councilor Litlit. We can see
Okay,
your
thank
ears.
you.
Ear pala.
Yes, Chair. Tatauwi yun, no? Kasi on mobile yun. Amo sa el concern gani, no? Tamira kita epekto ara si kita self-sufficient as a city in terms of production. Yan nat before aros, ara kita problema del supply na aton mga karne. No? Mas dito era kita regulation in terms of production. It's a eye-opener to us, no? The of Zamboanga really give priority to agriculture, particularly on this livestock production, no? I think later on we will have a dialogue also with our city agriculture and city vet to plan on this concern. So I can lang yung question, Mr. Chair, Popo, no, kung Sir Ariola, akan na production del chicken, na benta kita chicken tamen na basilan sulu and tawi-tawi. So may I know by what percentage are we also selling to sila tawi? More or less.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Doc Mariale, recognized.
Accordingly, 30% of our production here is being sent out to Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi
For chicken.
for chicken.
Okay. So
And however, may I add, this is also replaced by the chicken coming from Basilan, coming from Cagayan de Oro and Misamis. So, parang pass-through lang yan, pass-through.
okay. So el problema lang di ato nakalibato nante, ang problema kita ko kay mga huevos,
Sinileveling off.
no? Kay pantatan kay tabi India da ko mga growers. So
Yes,
no iba tami Sir Mario aki na Zamboanga City aki mga na-supply tamen mga huevos kung nandiyan aton mga growers.
Yeah, we invited them to establish breeder farm here in Zamboanga. But sabi Sedes, the production kasi of hatching eggs is highly technical and is dependent on our power supply.
Basta wag lang aquatic.
We are at the end of the grid and they feel na SAL threat nila. No? Kasi once kada si blackout na todo balut el mga huevos kali na incubators.
So meaning as of the moment no I can carry mag-invest na business akin na Zamboanga, it's because of the concern on power.
Not only that, we have hatcheries here. They buy egg in Cagayan de Oro and have each hatch in Zamboanga City. So, production lang del mga breeder animals. And may kita keep breeding animals for the production of hatching egg. Pero kung incubator, pero only very few, minimal.
Okay, pero it's not impossible na someday we can take actions also para kinikita na Sir Mario.
Yes, we really wanted them to get in touch with our investment officer or city investment office so that if they can avail of some
Tax incentives.
incentives for
Yes.
establishing breeder farm in Zamboanga City.
I think maybe that can be one of the recommendation also to really invite those investors in Zamboanga City, Mr. Chair. And also, Mr. Chair, kailan lang yung mag-clarify,
Recommendation?
yeah, pa di uwi how many times,
Yeah, pwede uwi how many times na yan yung reason also for kaya yung nakita mga increase in prices is because of the production cost. So, kaya yung sabi, Mr. Chair, for kaya subi el production cost, pati del cuando lang este and start el subida del mga production cost.
Yes, there's a question raised by Councilor Litlit.
Anyone siguro, Mr. Chair, pwede man answer regarding production cost? For kaya subi pati del cuando and start, what specific siguro ng mga production cost?
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
This is Freddy Gamorot po sa DA.
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear ba yun, sir?
Yeah,
Sí, klaro to.
Loud.
Klaro to. Hindi man din klaro, pero okay,
Kaya mo provide inputs lang na discussion. Okay, if you talk about livestock, particularly swine production or chicken production, grande el na production cost, it's about 60 to 70% na feeds SSR na feeds. Now, if you look at the data, the aton yellow corn production, which is the main ingredient of feeds, less than percent lang the aton adequacy, ating self-sufficiency. We still buy our yellow corn about 90% outside the region. So, example, kumpara pa kita po di aton yellow corn na Cotabato provinces like na Sarangani. So, el cost is relatively higher dato. Kasi lang to, sir, no? 70% the cost is na feeds. So, that's one. Pero LDA, sir, actually, we are actually coordinating actively with the Secretary of Agriculture because we plan to expand the yellow event.
Copy, sir.
Or in,
pero conflict, Chappy, pero yung contesta si Sir Denantes.
Term, with the
Okay.
Yan answer yan Denantes, conflict. Medyo
Yeah,
Chappy
sige.
See. We'll relate to you his answer earlier, Councilor Litlit.
Yeah, one day siguro man busy ka lang din medyo ka na, sir.
Yes, Councilor. The
Thank
committee will
you,
be
Mr.
appreciated.
Chair.
Yeah,
Thank you, si Sir from DE.
Okay.
And Sir Ariola.
Yeah, thank you. If there are no more questions, Councilor Jerky is recognized.
Mr. Chair.
Councilor Jerky first, then Councilor Bong.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Councilor Jerky recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Mayang buntag. Assalamualaikum. I think, Mr. Chair, we need to formulate a modified blueprint for food security, Mr. Chair. Because I, for one, I can give my personal experience. When I was in elementary and high school, our family, aside from running a tailoring, we are also engaged in poultry. Akal mga, not chicken, but mga quail, quail eggs. So we used to supply some of the groceries here in Zamboanga City. But due to the ever-rising cost of feeds, uno ya kami mga sali apektaw, nanoy kami pa de agwanta, kunel mga giants, so entre mga San Miguel and other blakita companies, of which mga well-established and well-resourced. So di aton ki challenge, Mr. Chair, when you talk about food security, el uno ki, el mga opportunities del mga local players, of which tapode in their packets of distribution tapode man supplement no el on the palta. So over and above with this situation, with the scenario and the data that were afforded to us, like the 30% del pork, no, amo lang el tapode produce kina Ciudad de Zamboanga in spite of the high demand, and then the bulk of this supplies comes from Sibugay. And then Kumukalara, 90% galiday yellow corn, staba na Cotabato and Sarangani. So be it as it may, Mr. Chair, we have an adequate and sufficient blakita chera, and of course, expertise chene kita. So kosal palta. But definitely, Mr. Chair, el dimio lang kayo, temirayo, because of the experiences del pueblo na siege, na El Nino, and then during calamities, and then here comes el pandemic. And then el mga problema ng mga animales, como aquel African swine flu. So taman diterste, and then we used to dodge, we used to have a certain kind of flexibility, el datong pasensya taman test. Pero Mr. Chair, si Chene lang el pueblo siguro, sort of a blueprint, a modified food security blueprint. Siguro, for a time being, for 1 year or 2 years, kaya kita self-sufficient. Because Zamboanga City is not just a city in itself. Zamboanga City is a hub center for the peninsula and for the region. So there are supplies, though sufficient para kanaton, but since we are a hub situation, hub location, taman supply tamin kita ng mga nearby provinces. Si akorda kita, akal siege, that was about 1 month, but si mira kita, yaman paralyzed namin ang mga supplies na nearby areas. So, Mr. Chair, the suggestion is for this committee to encourage the formulation of a modified food security blueprint for Zamboanga City. And with the experiences and reliability and wisdom mismo di Dr. Mario Ariola, grande ayuda gatste pwede giya kanaton. El experiences di Dr. Mario Ariola, let me reiterate, is a big help to the city of Zamboanga. With the observation, as propounded earlier by Councilor BG Gingona, by Councilor Jihan, by Councilor Lilibet Nuño, by Councilor BP Elago, si pwede once and for all, let's cross boundary, hindi lang abla el mga siguiente o el mga assign committees el sinta junto con Dr. Mario Ariola and of firm, steadfast food security plan for Zamboanga City. Hindi kita pwede reactionary lang pirmi just because we have this situation, este kita mo be, este kita saka, aki kita saka supplier. No. Debe tiyan kita blueprint para mas kinuhay mas el mga presente miyembro, opisyales del pueblo como elegido o appointed, tagi lang siyempre el blueprint del food security of Zamboanga City. That is my take, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, Councilor Jerky. Actually, for the information of everybody lang, no, like the chair is in holding a, for the information of everybody, comprehensive food security plan. We also have here the 10-year operational plan, and I agree with the observations made by Councilor Jerky. We cannot just do short-term solutions. We cannot just do short-term actions. We have to look at the long-term. So it has to be sustainable, and Zamboanga City has to be sufficient. So the chair shares the observation made by Councilor Jerky. Yes, Councilor Bong. Before we Ma'am Mench, or rather Ma'am Mench, Councilor Bong first, then Ma'am Menchi. Yes, Councilor Bong, you're recognized. Councilor Bong, kindly unmute your mic. You have no audio.
Hello.
Okay, please proceed, Councilor Bong.
Okay. So, one of the observation, no, kapriguta kita ko na estos mga grower, this is something to do with el nasoning plant, no? Pone sila, let us say, pone sila di ila piggery or manok, o sa poultry, no, lehos, no? Then after mga few years, tiene planta casa or as a housing alya, tamanda kanila sale. So, carry this year, we have to assign a certain area where alya lang sila, no? And ano mala po na casa para hindi kanila mandasali, no? kay sa uno din mga concern nila, por eso sila doon mo kaya mas mag-invest. Kay after few years, tiene pangakasa alrededor, anda mang complain, then sera kanila. So while pone kita, igual ba kones na area, no? Yang habla industrial zone. So si planta to kikasa, sir ka kanila, then naman complain kay ablayede el planta or reklamo ng mga planta. Diba? Kay this is really intended for this purpose. So na agriculture tamen, our alina poultry or piggery, we have to look for a place where we will assign not only for 5 years, 10 years, para kini kita sustainability na supply dia doon. Kay mucho mga poultry kabasera, porque man niya kabasera, na kaya po niya mga kasa, kini mga residential ya, yung manda kanila sera, kita lekrama. So, si Ase Magitakel, suggestion di Council Jerky, please do not forget, no, dahil na zoning, no, to include, para mang-assign kanila permanently, identify the area, para alya lang sila, ihinoy maskin, mete kanila, then they are assured of their investment. Thank you.
Yes, Councilor Bong. In fact, it was already mentioned that a specific zoning within the food security plan will be integrated, Councilor Bong. Yeah, Councilor.
Okay,
Councilor. Ma'am Menchi, you're now recognized. Ma'am Mench, kindly unmute your mic, Ma'am Mench. Nakamute to. Tanmute. Nakamute. Okay, please proceed. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please proceed, ma'am.
Okay. So, kaya lang tamen nyo man tackle other issues relative to livestock production. Ali el jamon rolia, di akilablagan ni si Sir Ferdy Gamorot, the production of our yellow corn. So, on that aspect, kaya kami direct relationship with Dr. Ariola. El jamon data to dale mira, kay kita 57% sufficient. What does that mean? Of our corn would
57% of yellow corn.
57% of our livestock. Pero kaya kita bien grande issue na di aton production del di aton yellow corn. One of it is aflatoxin. El quality of corn, once kaya kita aflatoxin, amoya hindi na sita kompra el japton mga livestock raiser. Why do we have aflatoxin? Because sa jatong drying facilities, hindi bastante. To inform the honorable body, for this year, we will be having 6 corn cribs to be implemented in Zamboanga City to be assured kita kay diaton mga mais are really of good quality when we sell it to our livestock producers. Likewise, kiniteng kami sa multiple purpose drying pavement. I hope in the future request diamond for drying pavement, especially for corn, I hope the city councilor will still continuously support our request for good quality, not only corn, but also other commodities like rice, in order for us to be ensured of quality after harvest. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Mench. Yeah. Any other? Before we go to the recommendations of the Committee of the Whole.
Sir Chair.
Yes, maybe last na siguro, Councilor Tungko. Then we go to the recommendations. Yes, Councilor Tungko, you're recognized.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just following the statement of what Councilor Kim Olaso said regarding the supplies, food or commodities from our neighboring countries like I can do you want according to some of the businessmen there is a proposed closure for the entry food coming from Malaysia. Now, seeing the situation currently, there is already a shortage. If our government siguro man-closure sila air supplies, food from the Malaysia like mga udang and others, mas kaya kita ang problema yung kayot kita. Kaya instead, we are allowing entering other supplies from other neighboring country or places. Why not open it? This is, Mr. Chair, accordingly, of the accordingly kay yan yata man kita COVID-2. So accordingly, there is a tendency all the products coming from outside like Malaysia will not be allowed to enter. So amo SL proposal that is actually came from the businessman. Taabla sila kumigo. So STALA will grab the opportunity to inform the body, especially the concerned agencies, for this matter. Siguro we have to look and find solution for this. No masiguro kita disallow of entering food commodities from other countries. Amo lang tell di miyo, Mr. Chair, wala siguro we have find solution para el ciudad, vivientes del Zamboanga hindi tamin tan suffer as regards to their food supplies. Amo kel, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Thank you, Councilor Tungco. We now recognize Councilor VP, and the chair also would like to solicit some motions to some recommendations also that we also have. Yes, Councilor. Sorry, Councilor VP. Last na talaga, no? For DTI, Sir Guyver, last question. Regarding do you have a investigation team to crack down on the abusive middlemen or hoarders? What action did the LPCC recommend? Because that's part also of your report. Sorry, Councilor Vipa. Just one more before we go to yeah. Yes, Sir Guy.
To touch on that issue, Mr. Chair, I think we have to coordinate with DA on that regarding the investigation or crackdown on the abusive middlemen. We will coordinate with DA on that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll make it a recommendation na lang para chinegat formal basis. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Guyver. Diba? Yes, Councilor VP, you're now recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair, earlier on, even before Councilor Bong Atilano spoke, I was already conferring with my colleagues that I'm going to come up with a resolution, a recommendation. So I'd like to read this now. I have actually two recommendations. Number one, requesting the city government to identify a livestock zone in the city of Zamboanga, because, one of the problems is that some of our would-be investors in the livestock and poultry industry are actually kind of discouraged because amo nga ni Kel, anda sila na lugar kabarkel mucho bakit sila mga papeles para pasa pidi pa permiso del mga residente allá. So there should really be an identified zone, just like what we do for the industrial and for the agricultural. Debe gayot zone exclusive tamen for livestock and poultry for the poultry industry.
May I make a amendment, Councilor VP?
Right.
And that livestock zone to be integrated in the food security plan, because last night I was going through and browsing through our 10-year food security plan. That's my also observation. Why sila zones alya, no? So to integrate in the food security plan so that comprehensive yagatle.
All right.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilor Jihan, Councilor Lilibet, Councilor Jerky. Hearing Councilor Napi, hearing no objection. Councilor Bong, hearing no objection. The motion is carried.
Number two, Your Honor, it is sad that it is only when things like this happen that everybody, gets alarmed and alerted to really act on it. The increase, the tremendous increase in the prices of pork, beef, and the chicken meat, has really affected a lot of us and make people wonder what we in government have been doing the previous months, the previous years in preparing for incidents or situations like this. So, on my part, I believe through a resolution, actually, I'm going to pass another recommendation. I'm earnestly requesting the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Trade and Industry, along with the city veterinarian and the city agriculturists, to submit a quarterly report on the status of food sufficiency in the city of Zamboanga. Categorically done because we have the vegetables, then we have the meat products. I would suggest that there would be a joint report that would be submitted, that would be prepared by the offices mentioned and submitted to the city government of Zamboanga quarterly so that we will be able to see way ahead what we need to do in as far as meat, for instance, is concerned. So hindi na kita debit, taasusta lang kita, si taligaya lang kanaton ang sitwasyon. So I move for this recommendation, Your Honor.
So there's a motion that a quarterly report of the said specific products be submitted to the City Council. Siguro through
City government.
City government.
And the City Council, of course, included.
No, because you mentioned DA, DTI, OCA, and Office of the City Vet.
Yes.
So this is a combination between a national and local
Yeah, a
to
joint.
be submitted to the City Council.
To the city government in general.
But the
No, actually what I want is for us to know way ahead. But the city government should also know. The mayor should also know about
Okay.
this. So, pareho lang.
Okay, the
City
local government.
Council, yes.
all right.
A joint report.
Okay, so there's seconded by Councilor Jerky and everybody. Hearing no objection, the motion is carried. Yeah, the chair also would like maybe through Councilor Jihan, you would like to earlier sponsor a motion also for DA and DTI to conduct a investigation and crackdown on possible existence of hoarders and abusive middlemen. No? So a motion was introduced. Second by Councilor everybody. Hearing no objection, the motion is carried. Also, as mentioned by the Assistant Regional Director, Sir Ferdinand, as to a price freeze, that a consultation should be done first with different stakeholders. So a motion to request the Department of Agriculture Region 9 to coordinate and consult with different stakeholders on the possibility of putting a price freeze, no, for the next 30 or 60 days based from the report of the DTI that on February 1, prices of beef will go up. So, is there a motion? Moved by Councilor Lilibet naman, seconded by everybody. Hearing no objection, motion is carried. Also earlier, we were talking about a subsidy on the cost of production. The City Council, through this August body, is supporting the subsidy for cost of production. So whatever financial or budgetary requirements are needed, the City Council will support to bring down the prices also. Because not only of the supply, but the cost of production is also causing the drastic increase of prices. So, Councilor Vip, you would like to put that in the motion, supporting the subsidy program, no? So we can drive the cost of production down.
I will just move accordingly, Your Honor.
Okay, seconded by Councilor Lilibet and everybody. Hearing no objection, the motion is carried. Okay, so that I think as far as the committee is concerned, the actions short term and long term that we will be taking. Lunch will be served now for members present, but for the ones in Zoom, virtual lunch. So, but nonetheless, the committee is very thankful to each and everyone for attending. Our friends from the national government, regional offices, Ma'am Menchi, Dr. Mario from the local government, councilors online, thank you so much. Sir Ferdinand from DA, thank you. So with that, the Committee of the Whole, chaired by the Committee on the Trade Investment Industry, is now, this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor.
Thank you, Sir Ferdinand.